Hey, what's going on, everybody? We're back again for another interview today. You just got to try to schedule them when you can. And today I have with me Jelani. I should have asked him his name when I was in the little in the green room, I guess we can call it. I should have asked him, how to pronounce his name.
You're
But
good.
actually, I ran into a contact with him. Actually, it was on Kim Dang's page, and it's kind of, I guess they call her, some people call her Kim Possible, and she does a lot of stuff with Chrome extensions and all that. And I was like, who's this guy? Because I looked at his profile, because obviously that's what I do. I'm pretty sure everybody else does it too. You see somebody you don't know, especially online, being interviewed by somebody, you'll go to the other person, the person you're not familiar with, you'll go to their profile and look it up. So I went to his profile, looked it up, I was like, worked at Clickfunnels. I was like, man, this guy used to work at Clickfunnels. Then you see he has his Clickfunnels hat on, giving Russell Brunson a free advertisement, so nothing wrong with that. He's got the hat on and the blue colors and everything. So I just thought, his story was interesting as far as he used to work. I didn't listen to all of the interview, but I kind of went on his page and looked at some of the stuff. But I mean, we can get him on here, and actually, he can just tell his story of how he came up. Appreciate him coming on. I know he's a busy guy, and I think he used to train or still does train 2 Comma Club award winners. I don't know if that's accurate, correct or not, but I don't know. He can go into a story, but you can have the floor now. Just so just go ahead and tell some of your background, how you got started in online and all that stuff. So
Yeah, sure. So I got into the internet marketing world about 2 or 3 years ago. I just started drop shipping. I used to work at a company that I hated, and I was looking at ways to make more money online. And I made money drop shipping, and I ran out of money. So I was looking for another job, and I saw that ClickFunnels was hiring. And then I applied and I got the job. So I worked my way up to what they call the VIP team, which is basically helping Russell Brunson's inner circle members. So I wasn't actually training them. I was actually just helping them with software issues. But through that, I was able to give them suggestions, I guess you could say, and kind of make sure they were going in the right direction. So yeah, that's basically it. And I through that experience, I was able to gain a lot of information about funnels, about how ClickFunnels works, and I'm very well versed with ClickFunnels. Like, I know it like the back of my hand. And because of that experience, I was introduced to a lot of ideas and a lot of people who are influential. And they've been really my fire underneath me to really do it, because the honest truth is anyone can do this. These people that you see in the group, Russell Brunson's Facebook group, and these people that have amazing stories, they're all regular people who followed the process, didn't give up, they were consistent, and they made it. Like, they eventually found that one thing that worked. And that's the reality of it. So it made me really want to go out. So I stopped working at ClickFunnels January 1st. So I've been full time just working on my own stuff, like my YouTube channel and my YouTube ads course that I've been developing.
wow, that's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting story that most people trying to get into ClickFunnels, and it's pretty interesting that you just got out of ClickFunnels. So you're pretty much kind of paving the path where everybody wants to go. So actually, this morning I was actually on YouTube, and you guys might hear a little feedback in my mic. I don't know. I was telling Jelani earlier that I just did. I mean, some of y'all are on the interview. I just had an interview with about an hour and a half long, and mic was fine, but all of a sudden, it kind of, went haywire or whatever, but it's no big deal. I mean, as long as you can hear me, you can hear what I'm saying, understand what I'm saying, so that's good. But actually this morning I was actually somewhere and I was scrolling through, actually looking at some YouTubes, and obviously, if you hit any of Russell Brunson's stuff, I mean, more than likely you're going to get retargeted. But this one ad that I had was actually an hour and a half. I mean, the ad was an hour and a half. It was Russell Brunson talking at the 10X conference. I guess it was last year. And I want to ask Jelani, you know, how do you, well, first off, how do you do YouTube ads? Actually, you can just kind of spill off of this. You know, I'm just going to give you a lot to digest, you know, to talk about. But first off, you know, how do you do YouTube ads? And then how do you get a long ad like that? Because most people don't have long ads. To get a longer ad, do you have to pay more money or, you know, stuff like that? But you can just go ahead and, you know, explain that.
Sure. So YouTube ads work through AdWords. So Google owns YouTube. So if you have an AdWords account, you're able to essentially run ads and anyone can do it. It is a little different than Facebook where they do a manual review process of the ads. So they're a little more strict on what you can post, but there is no time limit or anything like that. So anyone can run an ad. The shorter ads obviously just probably work a little bit better. So I'm assuming Russell's targeting people that already know who he is and have a little more like that's not their first interaction with them basically. So that can probably work. I don't know what ad it was, but I'm assuming that it was probably just something that was promoting something. I don't know what it was, but yeah. So there's no time limit, but as a general thumb, I think my ads normally like 3 to 5 minutes, and that just works for me. But there is no time limit, and anyone can do it. So if you have an AdWords account, you can just make an ad, run it, and see if it does well. I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, I do have a 5-day challenge, so I can give you the link. But for anyone who wants to join to learn how to run YouTube ads, you can definitely do the challenge. But yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting because I know that especially being, you know, agency owners, because I have a lot of agency owners in my group. Well, obviously pretty much all agency owners and just starting out. I know a lot of people are telling them different ways to market or, you know, acquire clients. And even if they already have clients, you know, there's different ways that they can actually help their clients. But most agencies are just doing, you know, as far as running ads for their clients and running ads for themselves and developing clients. They're just pretty much doing, you know, Facebook, and you hear them throw in Instagram a little bit. And obviously, you know, they got SEO and they do Google ads, but I guess, you know, that would be, you know, is that a part of the Google ads, the AdSense as far as YouTube ads, or how does that work? Or just the ads on the page? Is that different?
AdSense is like, if you become a partner of YouTube, it's a separate thing. You get paid out. So like if people run ads on your channel and people click on the ad, then you get paid because it was on your channel, on your video. So that's one thing. But then the ads part, like if you are actually running ads on other people's content or other people's videos, then that's where it would come, AdWords would come into play. So AdSense and AdWords are two different things. But I mean, obviously you can make money from both. If you're partner with YouTube, you can have other people monetize on your channel, and then you can also run ads on other people's channels. So there's different ways you can target on YouTube ads. You can target based on specific videos. So like you can get a whole list of videos, and there's tools out there that allow you to like kind of scrape YouTube to see which videos are monetized, because you can only run ads on monetized videos. So you can make a list of videos that are monetized and then run your ads on those specific videos. You can run ads based on specific channels. So if you have, you know, a list of channels that are in your niche, you can make an ad targeting those channels, and any videos on those specific channels your ad would be shown on those videos. Then you can target based off of keywords. So for example, if someone types in how to make money online, and you have an ad that's targeting those specific keywords, then that your ad would be shown for when someone typed that in. Those are the main ways. There's other ways you can do it. It's a little advanced, but I like keywords. That's just my thing. Just getting a list of keywords, seeing which keywords work, and then breaking them down and cutting the ones that are not getting me impressions or getting me conversions, and then just increasing the cost but also scaling the keywords that are working in my favor.
So you pretty much do keywords. So you know, in Facebook, they pretty much do like target audiences and stuff like that. You know, the way you can target audience, you can target pages, you can target. Well, they kind of cut back some of the demographics and all that stuff. They restricted them. So So I guess in YouTube, I know you say that you can target specific channels, but I mean, well, how are the demographics or how are I guess as far as targeting, what's the difference between targeting in Facebook and targeting in YouTube?
Yeah, it's a good question. So like you said, Facebook is all about interest targeting. So, if someone's interested in ClickFunnels, right, you can target ClickFunnels as a whole and run ads to that specific group of people that are interested in that thing. Whereas for YouTube, it's all about search intent. So I mean, the general idea is search intent, but you can also run ads to no search intent. So by search intent, I mean people who are searching specific things or people who are going to specific channels or watching specific videos. You can target on YouTube based off of topics and interests as well. So on Facebook, you can only do interests, but on YouTube, you can say, I want to target someone that is interested in cars, right? And then you can target that segment of people who have some type of interest in cars, and Google will figure that out based on the data that they've collected, because every single website on the web pretty much has a Google Analytics pixel or like some type of connection to Google where Google can, kind of scrape that data. And then we're able to use it as advertisers. We can target by age as well. Like on Facebook, you can target by if someone has a high school education, if someone doesn't have a high school education, if someone went to college, if someone's starting a business or looking for information on how to start a business. So there's a lot of different ways that you can target, and it's I would say it's more advanced than Facebook because Facebook kind of limits on like what you can do. And I like YouTube because of the search intent factor, where I'm not randomly showing ads to people. I'm showing ads to people who are actually interested in what I'm talking about. So I'm not gonna I can run an ad talking about Facebook ads on YouTube, and it will only show the ad to people who are either looking up Facebook ads or have some type of interest in Facebook ads, right? And that will increase my conversions because they're already looking for that thing. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that's that.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, that's interesting that you're saying that. Yeah, if you guys are on live now, hashtag live, hashtag replay, and you know what I say here, you know what the motto is here, you know why you guys are here. Always be moving, hashtag ABM. So this is pretty interesting that he is actually saying that because a lot of people just talk about, well, you take your agency and then you just advertise on Facebook. So right now, I think somebody said that to acquire a client for an agent is maybe you spend about $50. So I mean, in comparison to doing things on YouTube, do you think that the advertising on YouTube right now, because a lot of people aren't talking about it, so it's kind of like where Facebook was maybe like 5 years ago, right, or so, so I mean, obviously this is pretty interesting that we're talking about YouTube ads, because I mean, like, really not many people are talking about it. So yeah. I mean, what's the conversion rates? I mean, is it cheaper to run ads on YouTube in comparison to Facebook, or is this something agency owners need to be looking at?
Right. Yeah, good question. Yeah, definitely. I think people who are content creators or people who have agencies should definitely be looking into YouTube ads. So for example, I was asking people like a few days ago or a week or two ago, I was trying to get some like information about webinars, because there's a lot of people who run webinars, and some agency owners might have clients that are running webinars, and the general consensus was you're paying about $4 to $7 per lead for a webinar registrant. And for me, I'm getting less than $3. So my costs are significantly less than if I were to go on Facebook. Obviously it depends on niche. Like, I can't speak for, everyone's niche. Every niche is different. But from what I've seen, YouTube ads is less, like you said, because it's not saturated. There's not a lot of people who are comfortable with being on camera, and that's a misconception that you have to be on camera to run a YouTube ad. You don't. You can run YouTube ads without being on camera, but that's a block that people put themselves in. Like, I have to be on camera, so I'm not going to run a YouTube ad, which gives us an advantage, right? Because less people on YouTube ads, the less the cost is. But I think it's worthwhile for agency owners to definitely take a peek and definitely, test it out. And if they are interested, there's coupons out there. So if you spend $25 on YouTube, they'll give you $100 in credit, just because they know that a lot of people are not Like they're trying to get people in because they know like a lot of people are not doing it. But yeah, no, it's definitely something people should look into, and the costs are lower from what I've seen. I can't speak for everyone, but from my experience, it's definitely lower.
Wow, you guys need to check this out because obviously you said you had a course. Yeah, you can drop the link out in. I don't know if I said yes, yay or nay, but yeah, you can drop the link in. I don't know. We can talk about that later. But I mean, yeah, I mean, obviously, this is something that's interesting because it's kind of intriguing me. I want to buy the course, so that way I can figure out, what's going on. Because I mean, you just heard him say YouTube's giving people. I mean, if you pay $25, they're going to give you 100. So what? You get what, $125 in ads for $25?
Well, you
Or how
get
does that work?
you spend 25 and then they credit you 100. So essentially you're getting 70. I
Well,
guess
yeah,
like I guess $100 free, I guess, essentially.
yeah.
But yeah, so they, you can test it out and see, if it's worthwhile. I mean, it depends on the niche, depends on the video ad, obviously. Since I have some experience with it, like I know what works and like what works for me. But it's definitely cool. It's interesting, and I think I'm betting that in the next few years, probably next year or two, you're gonna see a lot of people transitioning to YouTube ads. Facebook ads is great, it works, but costs are just going to continue to rise. And to be in this game in this day and age, you have to diversify your traffic. That's one thing that I learned at ClickFunnels is like the top guys don't just rely on Facebook. They're diversifying the traffic to make sure that if an ad on Facebook is not working, an ad on YouTube or PPC is working, right? That's just an example, but diversifying, but putting more emphasis on YouTube ads. I can bet that that's going to happen in the next few years for sure.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, especially if you're seeing results, because I mean, obviously your results right now, conversion rates are lower, even on YouTube. So obviously, a lot of marketers and everything like that catch on to that. Then obviously, yeah, they're going to come over to YouTube and they're going to drive the price, and that's draw the price up. So I mean, that's interesting that you're saying diversify, because actually James Smiley was just talking about that, as far as diversifying. And actually, I'm in the process of doing that now, where my mentor Rob Quinn, he is actually everywhere. I mean, you can pretty much see his face everywhere. And I think, well, obviously we know that's how Ty Lopez blew up too, because I mean, he's on Snapchat, he's on Instagram. I mean, he has, he's on YouTube, he's on Facebook. And I don't know, I don't go on Twitter, so I don't know if he's on Twitter or not. And then, if you're just on a regular, web page, sometimes, Ty pops up on there too. So, I mean, that's pretty interesting that, you're saying, diversify the traffic. I see it looks like Devin joined us. What's going on, Devin? Amid joined us, Amid Ali. Hashtag live if you're on live, hashtag replay on replay, and hashtag ABM on here. We're talking about YouTube ads with Jelani. He used to work at ClickFunnels, used to build funnels, everything like that. And we're talking about, how you can actually just transition your ads, or not necessarily, transition totally where you're pulling them from Facebook totally, but I mean, you might need to start exploring, going into, YouTube ads, looking at getting in YouTube ads, especially being, an agency owner. So, Jelani, let me ask you a question as far as what is your, I guess you're one of the biggest takeaways that, as far as on your journey, or what's the aha moment that you had where everything just seemed like it clicked? Because obviously, you said you used to work at ClickFunnels, but now you're off doing your own thing. So, I mean, I guess what happened up until the point where you got to ClickFunnels, before ClickFunnels, at ClickFunnels, and, now, I mean, what's a big takeaway that you had? What was the aha moment that just, it was like, man, it's like, because of this moment, this is where I am now?
Yeah, probably the model that ClickFunnels goes by internally, which is ready, aim, fire. And it's basically like, regardless if you don't think it's going to work, regardless if you haven't tested it before, just do it, right? So at ClickFunnels, we were all, like, it was always changing day to day. Every single day, there's a new implementation for like SOPs, standard operating procedures. There's always something new with the platform. So like you can imagine that it was just crazy. But throughout that craziness, there was structure, and they just did things. Like it was just do it, like. And I think a lot of people, especially like when I was getting started, I was so a perfectionist and just like, oh, this has to be perfect, and this thing, this, that. But you have to just go, do it, see what happens, and edit as you go, revise as you go. And I think that's the biggest thing, is like not actually getting something to the light of day because you have those like thoughts in your head, like it's not going to work. I don't know if people like this, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, because when you launch something, you learn either it's, a good experience, you learn that you shouldn't do that again, or, you learn that it's going to work out and that you should keep going. So there's always a learning experience that you can learn from. And that's probably the biggest thing. The second biggest thing is like, I learned that every single situation that I go into is a learning experience, and ClickFunnels was a big learning experience. Like every day I learned something new. Every day I put something in, and I call it my like mental toolbox for like, I can use that later. So like even little things like on Facebook, I'm scrolling down and I see just people writing things, or just things that catch my eye. I have a whole folder of marketing techniques on Facebook that I just save posts. I can go back and revisit them. I have a whole folder on my browser that just has folders of funnels that I can go back and review, that I can learn from. So always learning something new, and always just getting ready to implement, just go for it and, see what happens.
That's good. That's good. You're saying that. I guess speaking of learning something new, I was kind of actually I saw it let me pull it up because I saw it on your screen. It looks like you got the what is it? The .com secrets in the back, the 3 books in the back, and then I don't know. I got to do better, I guess, with my staging. You're teaching me stuff here, as far as staging and everything. I like that. But as far as learning and how Jelani said, you need to keep just try stuff, put it out there, because a lot of people are just scared to, try, like getting on camera. I had somebody actually, come out to me and like, what are you doing? What are you trying to do? Because really, I only started doing these interviews in the past, 2 months or so. So, I just got out there and kind of do it because I didn't like getting on camera. Sometimes I still, some of the interviews and stuff I have, I get a little nervous and all that stuff. But the thing is, actually I just had a Bumble, whatever you want to say. I had one now, so, I mean, it doesn't matter, as far as just get out there, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to fail. Like you always say, somebody said, you want to fail forward. I think Will Smith talked about, he gave a, motivational speech where you say, if you're going to fall, or if you're going to, fail, make sure you fall forward. That way you're constantly, still moving forward. So, the thing is just, just get out there and try it. Oh yeah, about the camera. So yeah, I had somebody reach out to me and they said, yeah, they're like, I'm trying to, get on, they said, what are you doing? And I kind of told them what I was doing, working on my personal brand and all that stuff. I want to interview people, not just working on my brand, but just trying to learn stuff too, and actually taking people, along the journey as I learn. That's why I interviewed James Smiley. I interviewed, he's pretty big, as far as he does a lot of stuff now. He does a lot of coaching and everything. You and your YouTubes, and I'm going to interview Kim, and she does stuff, with not really bots, but I guess she does have a bot, but she really talks about Chrome extensions and all that stuff, building out Chrome extensions. So, I mean, that's the thing, just get out there. But I mean, like I said, you don't have to jump right into it,
Right.
You can just, progressively do stuff, as far as getting on camera, just go live, not even live, just record a video in your room by yourself, and constantly, work your way up to it. So that's pretty interesting, as far as you saying that. And then I got a couple of other questions as far as why do you think that people you've seen a lot of entrepreneurs and everything, and especially, working at ClickFunnels. I know you're around a lot of them. People made a ton of money, and I guess some people coming in, I guess they started from zero, went to whatever, and you actually met some of these people before. And the thing is, everybody doesn't make it. So, I mean, I know you've probably seen people that, came in, or, even seen funnels that were built out and they just kind of plopped off. And maybe even, obviously, yeah, you said that, because they obviously, if they keep changing and stuff, I mean, there's got to be a reason why they're changing. Well, obviously, yeah, because I mean, you're Russell Brunson, and you probably don't want to, consistently do the same thing. You're always moving. But I guess as far as what is number one reason, like the people whose funnels did not make it, the people who, businesses did not make it, what is the number one reason why you think that people fail and they do not meet their goals and their dreams?
Probably not launching something, and not having a good offer.
All right. And then I guess how do you, what would be your recommendation to create a good offer? How do you know if it's a good offer or not? Well, obviously, yeah, if it sells, but
Right.
I mean,
I think the best way is to give value. So whatever you're offering, so if it's like a course or something, why your course, right? So don't just give random offers, make them complement each other, make sure that they make sense with each other, and make sure that you can deliver on those things. I feel that a lot of funnels, a lot of course creators, they say these things, and a lot of it's misleading. A lot of it is not true, and half the time they don't actually follow through with whatever they say. So um, make sure that whatever your offer is, that you can do it. Yeah, you can actually, actually see through it, and make them complement each other. Make sure they make sense for the niche and the audience that you are trying to serve, and make sure that you're putting your customer first. I think one of the biggest things that I learned is kind of build the funnel backward. So like start with, and this is something I learned from Stephen Larson, but also learned from like ClickFunnels internally. So start with like the middle of the funnel, and then make sure that middle part works. So like if it's a course, make sure that course works, and then build the front end, and then build the upsells, and kind of work around the core offer. Um, a lot of people like build the landing page, and they build the I guess the tripwire, whatever it is that you're building. They build that first, but then they don't have something to follow up with it. And if you have a core offer, it's way easier to build around that rather than start with like a tripwire, then try to build the core offer, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does. That makes sense because looks like Jack just joined. What's going on, Jack? My wife is on here. She put the hashtag live on there. But yeah, it looks like yeah, because a lot of people, I know I heard actually Rob Quinn talks about this as far as, with a lot of stuff, even in sales and everything, if you're an agency owner and you're trying to sell, a deal or something like that, he talks about reverse engineering. You need to start from, from the back, from the closed deal, then work your way back to, right when you're going into the meeting, kind of think, what the agency owner might say and stuff like that. And then that's kind of interesting because a lot of people, they do say reverse engineer. Some people say, well, start from the beginning, build your funnel from the beginning, start with your free product and build your way up to your, your tripwire, then your main product core, your core offer, and then, like that. So, but I mean, he's saying, Julian is saying, oh yeah. And then some people say, reverse engineer, where you start all the way at the end and then work your way back. Right. But that does make sense that you say, you start with the course, because once you have the course and the main product, then you can just build little small products off of that. You can kind of entice people because obviously, if you have a course, and what's in the course, then you can pull a segment out of that course and make it like a PDF or something. But then, if people get a piece of that course, then it's like, well, I need the rest of it. You only give them like, just a little certain piece where they'll want more, where they'll pay, either get your free download your free PDF, but then, you pay, even take out a little more, put a little more information in your tripwire. But then, once you do that, this is the way I'm seeing it. I don't know if this is how it works or not, but this is kind of the way I'm thinking of how you can do that. Because once you start with the course, so just pull a little bit more out of the course, make a like a $17 to $27 product. I don't know what the codes are. I think what Tripwire is what price, 17 to 47 or 97 or something.
Yeah.
But and then if you have a course, and then you can actually build on to that, like your coaching program and stuff like that on the back end. So I mean, that's a great idea. So I mean, if you guys are out there thinking about building funnels, that's a way you can build funnels, and build courses around your funnels, because everybody wants to build a course now. Everybody's going into building courses and all that stuff about SMMA. And actually, my wife was on one last night, and actually, there's another lady. I don't know if she's in the health niche or what, but her name's Amy Porterfield. But I mean, she was talking about teaching people how to build a course, which that was her course. So that's pretty interesting. You said that. And let me go ahead and I guess just, close out the interview. Now, there's one question that I always ask, pretty much ask it at the end. And some people think it's a deep question. Some people think, it's a lighthearted question. But let me ask you, so if you were to have one superpower, what would it be and why?
Read minds.
To read minds. Why would you want to read people's minds?
Because a lot of people say something, but they don't really mean it. So to be able to get into someone's mind, that's like the ultimate power, because then you can kind of design your message around what they're actually thinking and what they truly believe. Not only that, like you can just navigate the world just so much easier. Like, you can just tell like who's with you, who's not with you. A lot of people are not for you, man. A lot of people just one thing I learned a long time ago is a lot of people are just nosy and they want to know stuff. They just don't care about you. They just care about like what's going not they don't care about you, but they care about what you're doing and they want to know. And I feel like if you can read someone else's mind, then you know their motives before they even can get to that point.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, you never really, then you would see, the heart of a person. I mean, I heard people say read minds, before. I mean, they give that, that, that answer, but I've never really heard, I never heard it, spun that way. So that's pretty interesting that you said that. But yeah, I mean, if you want to reach out to Jelani, I mean, how can they reach you? I know you got the course. I mean, you got a website, you got a Facebook page, Instagram page. Where are you at the most? Or just you can let everybody know where else, just give everybody, give all your social media platforms that you're on.
Yeah, for sure. So you can follow me on YouTube, Jelani the Marketer. You can find me on Facebook. Just search my name, Jelani, and then pretty much, yeah, YouTube and Facebook is like the main ones. And then I'm sure I can give you the link for the challenge if people want to hop in on there. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's good. So I appreciate you coming on here. And like you said, he's going to have, hey, Norma, how you doing? Just joined us. You have to go back and watch the replay about YouTube ads and everything like that. Yeah, so Jelani city, it's kind of I mean, it's not saturated yet. It's going to be saturated, but obviously, because once marketers find out if they can go into an area, go into a certain location, certain place, if it's cheap advertisement, obviously marketers are going to find out. So you need to go ahead and jump on board. And this guy's giving you actually a platform to do that. I mean, before everybody jumps on, you can get in now and actually know how to do it. You don't have to worry about testing and all that. He's already done all the testing for you, obviously, because he has a course. And I just saw a post on his Facebook page where he actually gave a campaign that he ran on YouTube, which he got low amount of, I guess he got a lot of subscribers for, a minimum amount of money or whatever. So, low ad spend costs, for low conversion rate on, for his subscribers and everything or whatever he was doing. I know he said pretty much, you just heard him say that he got subscribers for about $3, which is lower than what the average is. So he knows what he's doing. So, I mean, I advise you to go check out your course if you're advertising anything. I mean, it doesn't have to be agency stuff. I know there's some people on here, especially my wife, she's in the health niche. So you can advertise stuff, with health products and all that stuff. So go check out his course. He'll give me the link. I'll drop it in the comments. And you can go check out his page because I'm sure it's all on his, his Facebook page, his Instagram page. But you heard everything. So I just want to thank you for joining us today, Jelani. And you can, yep.
No problem.
Let everybody know
for having me. I sent you a message to the challenge, so you can drop that. But yeah, thank you so much for having me, and I appreciate it.
All right, thank you, and we'll do it again. And as always, hashtag ABM, always be moving. You guys have a good one, and I'll be back on here. Probably I may have another interview on Thursday, but you guys have a good one, and take care.
See ya.